Views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. Police investigating the country's latest murders. The House Speaker says barriers won't stop women from excelling in politics. Flooding throughout New Providence. And we're talking with the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Belinda Wilson, on this first day back to school for so many students. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up. It's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up. It's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, September 4th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. As we said, we're talking with BUT President Belinda Wilson. A lot to discuss with her this morning. That's all ahead, but first, it's time for The Overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, police investigating a fatal shooting that occurred overnight in the capital, resulting in the deaths of two men. According to initial reports, shortly after 10 o'clock last night, police were alerted via ShotSpotter of gunshots in the Johnson Alley area off Wolf Road. In response, officers proceeded to that area and got to a home where they discovered two men unresponsive. Emergency medical services examined both victims and confirmed that both had succumbed to their injuries, aged 41 and 32. Upon further investigations, it revealed that the victims were inside the home when four masked men armed with firearms forced their way into the home. They shot at the victims, striking them multiple times before fleeing the scene in a black Nissan Cube. Police asking for anyone with information to come forward. Acting Road Traffic Controller Linda Ann Moxie is taking legal action against political activist Richard Johnson, alleging defamation over comments he repeatedly made about her in mainstream media and on social media in relation to the issuance of taxi plates and her treatment of members of the public. In her lawsuit, Moxie alleges that between August 20th and August 22nd, Johnson spoke and published defamatory statements meant to suggest that she is unfit for her profession and incapable of dealing with the public. It refers to Johnson, a former FNM vice chairman who has since thrown his support behind the PLP, as a, quote, well-known political activist and with a substantial following on various social media platforms. It says that the claimant's reputation has been seriously damaged and she has suffered considerable hurt, distress, and embarrassment according to the court documents filed in the Supreme Court on August 26th. It states that as a result of Johnson's statements, Moxie has, quote, been gravely injured in her reputation and brought into ridicule, contempt, and disrepute, and that he intended to deceive and wound her reputation. House Speaker Patricia DeVoe says that her greatest barrier as Speaker has been control, as men do not like women to take control. She was speaking during a press conference in the Majority Room in the House Assembly yesterday, saying, quote, anywhere you go, control is a barrier. Males do not like women to take control. That has been something that I've been battling from day one, but it is nothing to set back because everybody knows my style. DeVoe has gained a reputation for her aggressive approach in Parliament. The opposition has accused her of being biased to the government and targeting FNM MPs unfairly. DeVoe noted that women are now serving in several key positions in the country, including the police force, the Senate, the House of Assembly, and at Government House. And the Bombs will host the 47th Regional Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Conference on September 12th. The conference will be at Margaritaville and British Colonial Hotel. Approximately 80 delegates from the region are expected to attend the conference. Overseas, the death toll in the crash of a famous Lisbon streetcar, popular with tourists, rose to 17 today after 2 people died from their injuries while receiving hospital care. The dead were all adults, according to the head of Lisbon's Civil Protection Agency, who didn't provide their names or nationalities, saying that their families would be informed first. Another 21 people were injured in Wednesday's crash, adding that authorities say they were men and women between the ages of 24 and 65, as well as a 3-year-old child. The injured included Portuguese people, as well as 2 German Spaniards and 1 person, each from France, Italy, Switzerland, Canada, Morocco, South Korea, and Cape Verde. The range of nationalities reflected how big a draw the renowned 19th century streetcar is for tourists who are packing the Portuguese capital during the summer season. Portugal observed a national day of mourning today after the capital's worst disaster in recent history. And European countries are stuck between a rock and a hard place as a coalition of countries meets in Paris today to discuss security guarantees for post-war Ukraine. The war is raging unabated with no ceasefire in sight, and the crucial questions of American involvement in ensuring Ukraine's future security remains unresolved. For months, the so-called Coalition of the Willing has been meeting to discuss aid for Ukraine, including sketching out plans for military support in the event of a ceasefire to deter future Russian aggression. The coalition leaders, French President Emmanuel Macron and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, have insisted that any European reassurance force in Ukraine needs the backing of the United States. But while U.S. President Donald Trump has hinted his country will be involved, he has moved away from calling for a ceasefire in Ukraine and refrained from implementing tough additional economic measures to punish Moscow. And Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness securing a 3rd term early today following a tight race on an island shaken by corruption, inequity, and economic concerns. Preliminary results showing that Holness's Jamaica Labour Party won at least 34 seats, while Mark Golding's opposition People's National Party secured at least 29 seats. Golding conceded the election in a brief speech, saying he was disappointed in the outcome, and he acknowledged the success of his opponent. Also participating in Wednesday's general election were the Jamaica Progressive Party, the United Independence Congress, and 9 independent candidates seeking a seat in various constituencies. Official voter turnout was just 38.8%, only slightly higher than the turnout for the 2020 elections during the pandemic. Just over 2 million people, 2 million registered voters are eligible to cast their ballots on the island of 2.8 million people. A total of 63 seats were up for grabs in Jamaica's House of Representatives. The leader of the party that wins a majority becomes the island's prime minister, as you know. The next leader, the new leader, will then appoint 13 of 21 senators to Jamaica's upper chamber, and the opposition will choose 8 others. Under Holness, Jamaica has seen a 43% drop in killings so far this year, marking the most significant decline in decades. The improvement is largely credited to the current administration's increase in firearm seizures and a stronger coordinated security force presence across the island. And the United States and Panama are urging the UN Security Council to authorize a 5,550-member force with the power to detain gang members in Haiti to help stop the escalating violence. The two countries outlining their proposal to transform the Kenya-led multinational force now deployed in the Caribbean nation into a much larger force in a draft resolution to the UN Security Council obtained Wednesday by the Associated Press. The first Kenyans arrived in Haiti in June 2024, and the force was supposed to have 2,500 troops, but it has been plagued by a lack of funding, and its current strength is below 1,000. Gangs have meanwhile grown in power since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021. They now control 90% of the capital, Port-au-Prince, and have expanded their activities, including looting, kidnapping, sexual assaults, and rape, and taken it into the countryside. Haiti has not had a president since the assassination. In sports, the Bombs Youth Football League has been committed to furthering the growth and development of youth flag football in Providence, and now the league has expanded to Abaco. The Youth League opening its regular season on Saturday in both New Providence and Abaco, which has been without a league since Hurricane Dorian in 2019. BYFFL program coordinator Jason Clark, ecstatic to see the league expand to Abaco. Read more about what he has to say about it in today's Guardian Sports section. From the WNBA, despite losing 4 of their last 6 games and 6 of their last 9, Bahamian professional women's basketball player Jonquel J.J. Jones and the New York Liberty are headed back to the playoffs. The defending champions in the WNBA backing their way into the playoffs Tuesday night, losing to the expansion Golden State Valkyries 66-58 in San Francisco. It was their 5th straight loss on the road, but the Liberty clinching a playoff spot when the Indiana Fever fell to the Phoenix Mercury 85-79 Tuesday. With 3 games remaining on the schedule, the Liberty can finish no worse than 8th on their schedule, and the top 8 teams advance to the playoffs. They're 5th in the standings with a 24-17 win-loss record, and they face the Seattle Storm, Washington Mystics, and Chicago Sky in their final 3 games. Meanwhile, in the NBA, the league saying that it will investigate if a $28 million endorsement contract between Kawhi Leonard and a California-based sustainability services company allowed the Los Angeles Clippers to circumvent league salary cap rules. Following a report published by journalist Pablo Torre, the Clippers strongly denied that any rules were broken and said they welcomed the league's investigation. The probe will focus on ties between Leonard, the Clippers, and a company called Aspiration Fund Advisor, LLC, which filed for bankruptcy this year. It listed several creditors at the time, among them the Clippers, who were owed about $30 million, and a company called KL2 Aspire, LLC, that was owed $7 million. Leonard is listed as manager of that company in California filings. KL is his initials, and 2 is his jersey number. Emails sent to his listed representatives seeking comment Wednesday were not immediately returned. And from U.S. Open tennis, Amanda Anisimova upsetting Inga Swiatek 6-4, 6-3 in the U.S. Open quarterfinals Wednesday, less than 2 months after losing to the 6-time Grand Slam champion in Wimbledon. The number 8 seeded Anisimova reaching her 3rd major semifinal and the first at Flushing Meadows. And Coco Gauff was surprised at how much tinier the replica trophy she got to keep after winning this year's French Open was than the trophy she posed with on court at Roland Garros for all the world to see. She even did a TikTok about it. But now Gauff's 2023 championship of the U.S. Open, marking the first time the women's singles winner in New York was given a silver cup significantly larger than the one that's used in the post-match ceremony. Her replica hardware is 19 and a half inches tall, the same as both the original and keepsake men's trophies. So now equality's been brought to the trophy, at least. That's sports. And that's the overnight time for your first look at weather. First look at weather brought to you by Star General. A severe weather watch is in effect for the Northwest Bahamas until 6 p.m. today. We've got the combination of tropical moisture, troughing, and a meandering frontal boundary that's going to continue to support the unsettled weather we've been seeing most of the week, and it will continue across much of the country over the next couple of days. We expect scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially across the northern and northwest Bahamas, with more isolated showers and thunderstorm activity over the central and southeastern islands. So heading into the weekend, the frontal system and its associated moisture will gradually lift northward by Saturday. Behind it, we'll finally see a drier air mass, and building high pressure will begin to help bring in some improved weather to much of the area. But residual moisture will linger over the northern islands, maintaining cloudy skies and occasional showers through to the end of the weekend. So the flood risk, we're seeing that in New Providence. Many flooded streets, and pedestrians and motorists need to exercise caution as this will continue during heavy rainfall, and heavy flooding is possible in low-lying and flood-prone areas, especially for the entire northern and northwest Bahamas and portions of the central Bahamas. There is also a chance of waterspout activity in showers or thunderstorms, and the severe thunderstorm risk will continue, as we said, for most of the day today. So your forecast, partly to mostly cloudy to occasionally overcast for most of the country, especially the northwest Bahamas. A 20 to 30% chance of showers, 20 to 40% chance of showers for the central and southeast Bahamas, a 40 to 60% chance for showers and thunderstorms for the extreme northern islands, but for us in New Providence and the rest of the northwest Bahamas, a 60 to 80% chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms today. We're looking at high temperatures around 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight, well, that's your low temperature. Highs around 91 Fahrenheit, 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. Lows tonight getting down about 81. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have more on your extended outlook and a look at the tropics coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance Made Simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with Seafall, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello. This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from around the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
The new Guardian Radio Sunday is here with a full day of diverse programming, kicking off with the first and last word in sports, the Press Box with Naughty and Earl the Pearl, followed by Temple Time, Caribbean and Urban American gospel hits, Vital Voices, Sisters in Christ, and Your Lane with Coach Trish Hanna, Remark with Garth Roseborough, Let's Talk Together in English with Lady T, Sundays starting at 11 a.m. right here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Who's the real MVP of the soil, the hero of the harvest? The Agrarian Awards 2025 is here, and we want you to nominate the farmer who's growing greatness in your community. 8 categories up for grabs and a chance to win up to $50,000 in cash prizes. Brought to you by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources and the Agricultural Development Organization, honoring the hands that feed the nation. Visit adobahamas.org to submit your nomination for the Agrarian Awards 2025.
This October, Bahama invites you to indulge your senses at the Culinary and Arts Festival, where world-class flavors meet breathtaking creativity in the heart of the Bahamas. Join us October 22nd through 26th for an unforgettable celebration featuring culinary legends Marcus Samuelson, Dario Zucchini, Simeon Hall Jr., and Scott Conant, alongside a vibrant lineup of chefs and mixologists. Explore captivating art installations, interactive workshops, and live performances, all set against the stunning backdrop of Nassau's premier luxury resort. From curated tasting events to beachfront feasts and immersive gallery experiences, this is more than a festival. It's a feast for the soul. Tickets and packages are going fast. Visit bahamar.com to reserve your spot at the Culinary and Arts Festival at Bahamar, where taste and talent take center stage.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way.
We're back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also in your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Laverne Gardner. Laverne, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning to our listeners.
Hi, is it raining? Is it pouring? Is it flooding in Grand Bahama like it is here in New Providence?
No, it's a little overcast right now. But no, it isn't raining. We got some rain earlier in the morning yesterday. No flooding that I'm aware of. No
that's
flooding.
Good. That's good.
And then the sun came out
Oh.
yesterday about 250 degrees.
Oh boy! Wow. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we haven't seen too much sun around here. The
Yeah,
past
I've
few
heard.
days.
I've heard.
Yeah, it is. It is wild out there, folks. Lots of flooded streets. Have been getting videos from very early this morning. JFK Drive, folks are saying it's pretty bad out there. I don't know if it's the lake. I don't know what's going on. And then West Bay Street, yeah, near Western Esplanade, that always floods, right? And it's pretty bad there. Independence Drive, a couple other hot spots for flooding. We'll tell you more about that in traffic, but keep that in mind. It's pretty
Yes.
messy out there this morning.
So let's try to be safe and exercise patience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So we got quite a bit to talk about this morning. And our guest today, BUT President Belinda Wilson, the start of the new school year. Every year we do this. We talk with her during the first week, and we'll get an update on how things are going with them and teachers in just a bit. But let's talk about what else is in the news. And in the news, our interview yesterday with BPL executives and the Minister of Energy and Transport making a lot of headlines, making a number of stories on the front page and in the various sections of the NASA Guardian today. Everything we talked about, including what's happening with Bahamas Grid and whether employees were seconded to Bahamas Grid and the power issues in Eleuthera and what's causing it and how they're working to resolve those issues. And a lot of talk about renewables. We got into that with the CEO, Tony Seymour, and Chair, Christina Alston, and the update with LNG and what's going on there. So all of that's in the paper today if you missed that interview. And if you did miss and you want to listen to it, it'll be up on our podcast page on our website today, GuardianTalkRadio.com by mid-morning. You should be able to listen to that if you missed it, yes. So that's all in there, a lot in that wide-ranging interview yesterday. You can give your reaction to it. I know we didn't get a chance to get any calls. We got a few of your text messages in. But you can give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Are you feeling confident about the way forward for BPL, hearing them talk about what the plans are, how they're going to address all of these issues and the unique challenges on some of the islands? And we did get to the power bill situation and them, again, explaining what's going on, why so many people's bills have doubled or tripled. And did you understand what you heard? Did you appreciate it? How do you feel? Let us know. Of course, this situation a little bit different from what you're seeing in Grand Bahama, Laverne, and I guess we need to get GBPC on at some point to talk about what's going on over there. Yeah, how's your supply? Any change, any improvement to what you were complaining about a few months ago?
In terms of
Just keeping the power on, and I know you have.
we had an outage it last week. Yes, we had an outage last week that for some areas was an hour, 2 hours, and then some areas up to 3 hours. They at the time when the power was off, it was off for about an hour before we got any, notification. And at that time when the notification came, it was, we're aware that some customers are experiencing outages, but they couldn't say what the issue was. And then finally, like I said, maybe about 2 hours. Yeah, about 2 hours, the power was restored. And then some areas, not until it took them 3 hours because in addition to whatever the issue was, there was also a pole that was down. I think that has been the only anything of late other than when they posted that they were doing some maintenance in certain areas and so
Yeah.
that the power would be out.
Okay.
But other than that, we haven't had any issues where the power's been out. Knock on wood.
Hmm.
Fingers crossed, hands together, eyes bowed, all of that, everything.
And any word on whether that what the fuel charge rate, whether there'll be any adjustment on that since that really drove people crazy last month?
No,
No word.
no, we've had some pretty. Sorry, I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. We've had the CEO come on and explain to us that, things like we're opening the fridge too much and we have to conserve power, do a better job of conserving power, just enough stuff to irritate you further. But
Oh boy, yeah.
yeah, stuff like that, Um,
That's
like
rough.
people aren't already being as conscientious as possible.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
people aren't already unplugging. I've said it before. I'm just not gonna do that. Go into that. But you people go to that breaker, they turn off the breaker. This isn't running. The next thing isn't running. They're unplugging everything. And still, after all those cost cutting measures, you still see your bill being high because why? The one thing that you cannot conserve or control is the fuel surcharge.
Yeah, yeah.
And if your fuel surcharge is either the same as or higher than your bill, what do you do then?
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. Let's hear from you all. Let's take these calls and get to these messages. Good morning, caller. What say you?
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Dwight, I want to thank you yesterday because although I tried to call into the show with putting in questions, I posed those to you, and you were very great in giving an overall recap of perhaps some of the things that was missed, and I was satisfied with the responses I got from you.
Yeah, let's explain that to you. So after the show, you contacted me and you said these are the questions you would have asked. And I said, well, they actually did answer those.
Yeah.
And so they really did have a lot to say yesterday. We really appreciate them for coming on and talking because that's what we've been calling for a very long time, and they did it. Yeah.
Well, I truly appreciated them appearing on the show yesterday, and perhaps a lot of these persons who are ministers and representatives of especially our utility companies need to make their presence felt. I was very impressed with the interview yesterday, especially hearing the voices especially hearing the commentary of the chairman and the
CEO
of BPL giving some answers. My only suggestion then, Dwight, would be this. Because the Bahamian people, they are kind of fed up of just the ministers or the representatives coming on the radio and not being able to field questions from the public. I mean, understandably, I understand what the response you gave me, the general context. You wanted to try to draw off as many questions from them, and the time was limited. But I would suggest perhaps when it's like that, then you have an extend the time of the show dedicated to that segment where the public can call in. Because there are some areas that would have been covered, and there are some that is perhaps particular to certain other areas of the country that other constituents are able to bring up, saying that we do not have a direct access to these persons because we cannot have direct meetings with them. Your forum and Guardian Radio, and I'm already going on record to say that Guardian Radio right now is doing one of the most pivotal, very important jobs in this country, and that is allowing the Bahamian people to have a voice on the open airwaves for all to hear. There are a lot of us who are afraid to address these things, and until we are able to get to that level where we can get all the parliamentarians in one location, where it is the people's time to put questions directly to them, because we cannot do it in Parliament when they're in session, but they have to make themselves available as a panel for our people, then begin to put the hard questions to them, and they must answer. Because a whole lot of these things are scripted. We don't want those scripted answers. We want direct frank, and honest answers from these MPs that we have elected to represent us in our parliament. And it is sad that we don't have that opportunity as a people, but you guys at Guardian have really started the ball towards that direction, and we would love to see if they would take it upon themselves then to present themselves to the Bahamian people in an open forum, all of them, so we can address them individually and collectively as a country. Okay. But thanks for taking my call. Like I said, extend the time of the show. Do not allow these people to come to your show and say, listen, we are not fielding any questions because we already have one or two persons like that. That is not acceptable to the Bahamian people. They are our servants. They're supposed to answer our questions. But anyway, I'll let somebody else call in, but that's just my commentary for this morning.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I hear you. Yeah, some of them are open, some aren't. Yesterday, we really had a lot to get to and limited time. But also, what happens is people call with personal stuff, like very specific to their own problem at home, as opposed to like something that matters to the majority of people. And like you could have called the hotline or gone down to BPL or whatever to deal with it. And so that's a challenge for everybody, for us and for the guests. I mean, like this really didn't need to be on the air for everybody to hear this. But I do understand what you're saying. And yes, where we can, we will definitely try. As you know, it happens. It definitely happens when we. So in that case, often it's better to send a text and we can get to one that will have impact for more people than just as a very specific, unique situation. You get what I'm saying? Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning. Are you there? Hi. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes. Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne.
Hi.
Homegirl. Laverne, just to let you know that the government of the Bahamas, or BPL and others, gave the same excuse that Grand Bahama Power did. It's like they must have shared notes on why the energy is. And Dwight and Laverne, I want you to pay attention, right? We were promised energy reform. We were promised lower electricity bills, not the linguistic continuism concerning fuel charges and this charges and whatever else. But Dwight, one of the things I want you to pay note, go back and listen to your thing. For years, I've been telling you, it's going to take $2 billion to $3 billion. If you listen to the minister, she says, oh, we got like $1 billion to spend. We don't know the real numbers. And $500 million legacy debt. That's $1.5 billion. That's just the start. And they haven't talked about the smart grid yet. And so one of the most important things, Dwight, is that gap analysis. For them to tell us where we are. We have not heard that. We heard a lot of talk. Now, I may be wrong in the way structure goes, right? But as of today, and I challenge anyone that understands the structure of idea, vision, strategy, plan, execution, monitoring, reporting, adjustment, that to date, we have not gotten a national energy plan, nor have we been presented with a BPL plan for energy. What we have been told is aspirational vision and a little bit of strategy. But the plan is what brings the details of the steps we're going to take short, medium, and long term. And you've heard me for 11 years of your existence said, we are moving into the 21st century. That was only 15 years then. We're now 25 years into it. And I said to you, energy is everything. Other than
so,
data,
see, Alan, I mean, based on what they said yesterday, I mean, they have a plan. They have what they think is a plan. It might not be in the format or the form that you would like it to be. But they do believe they have a plan and a strategy and a goal and goals in mind.
No, Dwight. Did you hear? Dwight, present it to me. Present it to us. Mm-hmm. A plan requires active participation for us. It talks about some of the things you guys talk about. The strategy for energy consumption reduction. It tells you the structure of it gives you complete details.
Yeah. Well, perhaps you can help them with that. Maybe you can give them some suggestions and maybe even do it for them.
We are a country in crisis when it comes to energy, right? We don't have to even talk about data, right? But unless we get this right, everything else doesn't matter. Just like the rail the train was run on. And there is no exception. The minute the rail is even slightly off, the train will derail. And I don't mean BPL. The government of the Bahamas owes us a national energy plan, not to co-op the BPL plan. The government owes us a national energy plan that Grand Bahama could follow and other energy producers could follow. And then separately, those energy producers owes us a plan of the things they're going to do.
Again, they have it. I get what you're saying. It isn't being relayed to the public in the way you would like it, and I appreciate that. But they do have it. You might not agree with some of the things, but they do have it.
How do you know what I agree with? I've never seen one. You haven't seen the energy plan?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you want them to format it and put it into some document that you can touch and feel, and I get that.
Dwight, you believe that they have memorized it? You believe they have memorized an energy plan for a multi-billion-dollar economy?
Well, okay, now this is interesting because depending on, and we've seen leadership changes, and whenever their leadership changes, the plan changes. So that is very important,
no,
right?
But
so
that
shows what you're saying.
And the other thing. I'm talking about
that's what I'm saying. So even in the last 4 years, we've seen they've had different CEOs, and what they were saying a few years ago is different from what they're saying now.
So you'll join me in saying that we're being gaslighted?
I wouldn't go that far, but I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. It needs to be put in a format that we can everyone can understand and measure it and say, yes, they're doing this.
Dwight,
this is what they said, and we're there.
I'll take comfort that it's only one more year before an election. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, yay? I don't know what to say to that, because what has that done for anybody else? Right, Laverne? Here's a text for you, Laverne. Tell Laverne to stop opening the fridge.
I'm trying, honestly. I'm trying not to open my refrigerator.
Well, they have that refrigerator now. You can tap it and see what's inside without opening it. Maybe you need to get one that you can tap and it'll teleport the food outside to you without you opening it.
That's what I was going to say. Because don't go into my refrigerator and stand up to look what's inside. I know what's in there.
Okay.
I typically go in there to get something.
You're never surprised? I'm sometimes surprised. They're like, oh, I forgot. I had this in there from last week. No?
No.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I need to figure out a way to get the stuff out of the refrigerator without opening it.
Right. Good luck. This texter says it's dark and cars are driving without their lights on. Yeah, that's a big problem, especially on a cloudy, rainy day like today.
Come on a cloudy, rainy day, drivers, we're going to need you to put your lights on.
Yeah. Especially
and
the people
with due care, caution, and attention.
And every time around this time of year, when school's open, there's always somebody new to waking up early, and they don't understand how things work. And they're driving, they're thinking, it's morning, I don't need my headlights on. But yeah, the sun isn't up, we can't see you, and your car is black, and you have lots of tint. We can't see you. You might be able to see. So again, this is a great guide for everybody. If you cannot see the sun in the sky, you probably need your lights on. Whether that's in the middle of the day and it's cloudy, it's raining, whatever, turn your headlights on, not your hazards. The hazards imply that you're in distress and that there's something wrong with your car. Turn on your headlights and not the high beams. But anyway, let's take this call.
Yeah, not the high beams,
not the high beams,
please.
No. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? No. Okay. A couple more text messages, and I want to move on to something else. This person says you didn't ask about shanty towns. I don't know what you mean. Oh, illegal hookups in shanty towns. Oh, okay. Okay. When will BPL get it right concerning the power situation in Luther? We talked about that in great depth yesterday. It's going to be a long road. Literally, apparently. But yeah, it's going to be... a lot of work needs to be done.
So in the interim, because yes, I did interview yesterday.
What?
So yeah, Dwight, my morning started before morning blend, and it didn't allow for me to have the radio. Well, let me put it like this: the radio was on, but I wasn't listening.
Oh dear. Yeah, you're supposed to keep that to yourself.
So in the interim, because of it's a long process of getting done. like, are there arrangements being made to help people in Eleuthera who perhaps can afford solar, and so allowing them to bring, solar panels and stuff in at a reasonable rate? Like, what was the plan for now until that, whatever the resolution is?
You're saying for specifically Eleuthera, a lower rate than
Yeah.
everybody else? That wasn't, I mean, that's a government policy issue. I mean, that wasn't discussed. I mean, you can do that now, but you're saying specifically for the.
Or whatever. That was just me saying that. I don't know if there was. I'm asking, what is the plan in the interim? Because you've already said that it's going to be a long process.
Yeah. Well, they've signed
whatever
PPAs
So,
with a
what's
couple
the-
companies there, and they're hoping that they will have their microgrid solutions set up by the end of next year or early the year after. So that is where they're going, but it's going to take some time
but in
to
the
get there.
meantime, I know that there was some equipment and stuff that came over, that was sent over to assist them. So I'm just asking what the plan is.
Well, if you have money, you better have a generator and bring in your solar, right? In the meantime, what they've done is they've cut rates for residents on 4 islands. Eleuthera is one of those. And
cut rates. I mean, and
yeah,
they don't have power
They don't have
anyway,
power.
so it isn't like the bill could be high.
well, yeah.
The power always out.
Yeah. But hopefully it won't be long now, I guess.
Dwight, please don't do that. Don't do that.
Before they
Don't
get it
do
up and
that.
going. Before they get it up
Yeah,
and going.
don't do that.
I don't
Please
know what you
do
mean. I don't know what you mean. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? No. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. While Jeff's comments and sentiments are understandable, what we are seeing now with the limited opportunity to access information or formally question government officials and the foreign entities they partner with is simply unacceptable. When it comes to a failed power generation system, transparency is not a privilege, it's a right. The ability to get answers should never be subject to anyone's whim or convenience, especially when the Bahamian people will ultimately pay the price for these agreements. If our pockets are funding it, our voices must be heard in shaping it. I hear you. I hear you. See if we can get some of the foreign partners on to talk with us. Hopefully they'll be more open to this. We'll see. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Good morning. I listened to the minister's comments yesterday, and I take it to be that because of all of this infrastructure and new stuff, that adds to the part of the light bills being so high, because they're looking at ways to trying to get money to pay for this stuff, and so they go ahead and tack on fees to bring the bill up high so that we pay for this stuff. So
That's what you got from the interview?
Necessarily all the time people put in people trying to do their best to try,
I don't know how you got that.
Cut energy costs.
No. That's unfair, and then that's not it. It's and they explained that as well. What happens in the summer, but it's not somebody tacking on it to pay for it. No. But we did talk about that, right? Why are you burning expensive diesel, and right, which drives up the energy? And they explained, as we've heard before, that other parts of the year, Clifton can power all of New Providence, and that uses cheaper, less environmentally friendly fuel, but it's definitely cheaper. But in the summer, they need Blue Hills, which uses diesel, which is more expensive. And that is why so many people's bills went up. Not necessarily, although for some people it is because of the usage, but because in any or more that you're using more than you did. But the fact that that is what they have to use to meet the demand in the summer. And so that's part of their challenge there. But they did talk about the need for fuel diversity and not just eliminating anything. And so it's likely that that will be the makeup for some time, even though they will add LNG and other energy sources to the mix. You likely won't see some of what they have now go away entirely. So that's interesting. All right, some more messages before we go to the break. This person says that we need to move away from these simple things. There are international issues that are facing the Bahamas that needs to be given the proper attention. We need to grow as a people and a country and move away from these issues of roads, infrastructure, electricity. What are you saying? Well, we move away from reliable phone system. These things are for third world countries. Oh, Texter, what's happening? We are equal to the American, making any sense of what you're saying. Equal how? And the problem is leadership. He who cannot read is in the same shoe as he who will not read. You're saying we shouldn't be having, is that what you're saying? I need to clean up your text. Shouldn't be having these third world type issues like roads, like infrastructure, electricity. That's what you're saying? And we wish we could move away from that and focus on bigger things. But we can't. And lots of countries in what you think are first world are also having issues with their infrastructure. So I'm not understanding your text. But yeah, there are lots of issues we have to deal with. Big and little. And but anyway. All right. And this text here says okay. I'm not understanding what this text is. Texter, please stop texting us nonsense. Was there any mention of buying back the power that solarized houses provide to the grid? Yes. You got to go back to listen to it. Again, it'll be on our podcast page. Laverne, you need to listen to it too. GuardianTalkRadio.com. A whole lot said. We're going to take a break from news and be back with more. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 4224796. And now day 24, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. We've got a severe weather watch in effect for the Northwest Bahamas until 6 p.m. tonight. We've got the combination of tropical moisture, troughing, and a meandering frontal boundary that's going to continue to support unsettled weather across much of the country over the next few days. So expect scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially over the northern and northwest Bahamas, with more isolated shower and thunderstorm activity over the central and southeastern islands. So heading into the weekend, that frontal boundary is going to lift northward by Saturday, and the associated moisture is going to move along with it. And a drier air mass, that's good news. With high pressure will bring much improved conditions to most of the country. But residual moisture will linger for the northernmost islands, maintaining cloudy skies and occasional cloudy periods over the cloudy skies and showers through to the end of the week and weekend. But until then, we've got the flood risk. Pedestrians and motorists need to exercise caution in heavy rainfall due to flooding in coastal, low-lying, and flood-prone areas, especially in the northern and northwest Bahamas. And there's also a risk of water spouts and funnel cloud activity in showers and thunderstorms. So quite a bit we have to deal with before we get to the weekend, folks. So for today, for the extreme northern Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy skies conditions, 40 to 60% chance of widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. For us in the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, we've got mostly cloudy to occasionally overcast conditions, 60 to 80% chance of showers and thunderstorms. And for the central southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy, even fair at night for the southeastern islands, and a 20 to 40% chance of widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures today, highs around 91 to 93 Fahrenheit, Celsius. Heat index won't be a factor with the cloud cover and the rain. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 80, 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. In your extended outlook, more of this for Friday, mostly cloudy conditions for the northern and northwest Bahamas, but a mix of sun and clouds for the central and southeastern islands. And by Saturday, still mostly cloudy for the extreme northern Bahamas, partly cloudy for the rest of the northwest Bahamas, and a mix of sun and clouds and even partly cloudy for the central and southeastern Bahamas. Gradually improving conditions as we head into Sunday, a mix of sun and clouds for most areas, holding into the start of the work week from Monday. But rain chances inching up again. By the time we get to Tuesday, we'll tell you more about that tomorrow. In the tropics, we're watching showers and thunderstorms associated with a slow-moving tropical wave over the eastern tropical Atlantic, several hundred miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. It's become a little more concentrated during the past several hours, and environmental conditions are conducive for development of this system during the next day or so. And a tropical depression is likely to form late this week or over the weekend over the eastern or central tropical Atlantic. This is the one we're saying could become Gabrielle. Formation chance is high now over the next 7 days at 80%. Monitoring that one. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Looking to paint? Where your local Sherwin-Williams store has top-rated, top-quality paints, expert advice, and everyday discounts to help you save only at Sherwin-Williams. Time for a check of traffic, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. Not pleasant on the streets of New Providence this morning. We've got heavy traffic as a result of the rain and, of course, back to school. And it is just awful how bad it looks. So let's go from east to west. We've got heavy traffic on Prince Charles Drive, especially at the major intersections once you get closer to Beatrice Avenue and heading into Soldier Road, Robinson Road. You're going to see that there. Eastern Road also busy for you, just from east of Fox Hill if you're heading westbound to about Johnson Road. And then Soldier Road is going to be messy for you just north of that intersection with Prince Charles and Robinson Road. And Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic from Carmichael straight up to Independence Drive. If you're heading northbound, it's going to pick up again. If you're heading north, all the way up to then that long stretch, heavy northbound traffic for you. Independence Drive is not a place you want to be. There's some flooding there, and there's that's slowing you down westbound, but eastbound also not looking pretty, all the way up to East Street. Tawny Williams Darling Highway, the whole stretch just looking pretty messy for you from Bahamas Games Boulevard up to Blue Hill Road, and that's eastbound. And then there's Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic from north of Fire Trail straight up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway, heading into the New Providence Highway up to the Six-Egger Roundabout. And some slow-moving traffic on John F. Kennedy Drive as well. Gladstone Road, just a bit of congestion near Munnings Road, but Carmichael westbound, once you're heading out to Coral Harbor Road, you're going to be seeing slow-moving traffic there. And we're getting reports of slow-moving traffic near the airport as well, so keep that in mind. If you're on Windsor Field Road, you've been seeing that often floods for you too. Good luck this morning. If you don't need to go to work, this will be a great day to stay off the roads. But that's your real-time traffic and your morning event traffic alert, brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers as well. Whether you prefer face-to-face chat or handling things online, they've got you covered. Visit nuainsurance.com for an instant motor quote or stop by for your nearest branch today.
Are you searching for something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab a day single or chicken sandwich with a junior fries and 16-ounce beverage for just $6.95. Why choose less from the other guys when you can get more? At Wendy's, we're providing bigger bites and better deals. So purchase your Things Tough Value Meal today. Now available at all locations excluding the airport and food truck.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Spend and stay this summer with CIBC Caribbean. Experience summer like never before when you spend with your CIBC Caribbean Visa credit card. The lucky winner will receive the gift of relaxation and summer fun with a $3,000 travel voucher, a $1,000 cash prize, or a $500 spa gift certificate. Each time you spend $150 or more, you'll automatically be entered for your chance at Caribbean Visa credit card. Terms and conditions apply. Visit CIBCCaribbean.com/summer spend and stay. Promotion ends September 30th, 2025.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General. Simple.
Do you know who's giving you $1,500 cash back? None other than Chevrolet. Test drive the classy LTZ-trimmed Colorado truck, or the sporty Trax RS, or the family-friendly Captiva SUV, or how about the fuel-efficient Groove? Whatever your choice, you will be riding safe with a 3-year bumper-to-bumper warranty from a dealer that's been around for over 85 years. Get down to Nassau Motor Company on Shirley Street and select a model that gives you $1,500 cash back. Chevrolet. Chevrolet, built with the innovative technology you trust.
Starbucks Bahamas is the place you need to be. Yeah. Taste the pride of Bohemian crafting culture in premium coffee. That's right. We're committed to serve convenience and we stand on consistency. Wow. We're more than just a coffee house. Come join our community. Living your for 20 years. The celebration with us. Uplift every day with each cup. Coffee community graphic culture. Living your for 20 years. The celebration with us. Starbucks Bahamas come to give you coffee community crafting culture.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Oh, not another tape. Oh, it's like that dream come true when it's on a platter for you. Then you pull back when I try to make plans more than 2 hours in advance. I slam the door, I ignore, I say no, 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 no more. I got you blocked after this and afterthought. I finally cut you off. I feel so much lighter like a feather with you off my mind.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning, first Thursday in September. In just a few minutes, we'll be talking with BUT President Belinda Wilson. Always talk with her during the first week of the new school year and find out how things are going with the teachers. We'll get to that in just a couple. But Laverne, there's something in the paper today I really want to get to. We need to do a whole show on this, but I'm a little surprised by this. This is in the Tribune today. Bus drivers unhappy with government over pressure to unify the system. Yeah, okay. The Bahamas Unified Bus Drivers Union has blasted the government's push to unify New Providence's bus system, something we've been talking about for decades now, right? Accusing officials of neglecting the industry for decades while forcing necessary and damaging. General Secretary Corvell Colebrook, speaking yesterday at the Hoffers bus stop downtown, said bus operators have kept the system running since 1958 without government support and will resist attempts to consolidate services under central authority. He asked, how can you say unify a bus system that has never failed the country? Okay. We have never failed. We are here 366 days of the year. The buses are on the road. You don't need to unify the system. You need to follow the rule of law. Colbert pointed to poor conditions endured daily by passengers, noting that major stops lack basic amenities. He said, quote, today we are here on Hoffer's bus stop, which is a major bus stop for 5 major routes in the busing system. As you can see, we are standing in the hot sun. It has not reached the peak of the sun yet at 92, 93 degrees. Presently, no bus stop, no bus shelter, no benches for the people to sit down on one of these buildings, which is wrong. He accused successive administrations of abandoning the sector and criticized Transport and Energy Minister JoBeth Colby Davis for failing to deliver on promises. He said, quote, Minister Davis, when we first met you after the election of 2021, now it's 2025, we are then 12 to 15 months away from a general election, and you have not done your job. You've failed the busing system. He said the road traffic controller has, quote, not once yet come out to see what's going on with the system. Colbert said oversight from the road traffic department is virtually non-existent, with only, quote, one fella in one car monitoring multiple routes. He argued that weak enforcement has allowed reckless driving to flourish, adding that, quote, there are a lot of complaints. The union answers it. We call the drivers. We talk to the drivers. But then our senior drivers say when there were road traffic officers on the road doing the job, they didn't have this problem. The union is also frustrated by the government's failure to deliver the second stage of a fare increase. A 25-cent rise last May pushed fares to $1.50, but the further increase expected in December never materialized. Colbert insisted that only a $2 fare would be fair, citing soaring fuel, maintenance, and parts costs. While plans for a unified bus system remain on the table, insiders say progress has stalled amid legal and organizational hurdles. The government is still considering how to consolidate drivers and franchise owners and franchise owners under a single structure. Last year, officials touted a proposed American Development Bank project to address long-standing weaknesses, including unsafe stops, poor infrastructure, and inconsistent fare collection. At the same time, the public transportation company said it was finalizing its business plan for a unified network. Surveys conducted by the IDB found passengers widely dissatisfied with unreliable service, safety concerns, and inadequate facilities. Despite the challenges, Kohlberg vowed that drivers will not let the public down, saying, quote, "It seems like they want us to fail, and we're not going to fail. We're fighting high fuel prices, high parts, and we're still here. It's a hard fight, but we're not going to fail." Okay. All right, so really quickly, want to get your reaction to that. Again, this is going to require a whole series of shows, I'm sure. We need to talk with these unions as well about this. But what's your reaction to that? I mean...
I was listening, hoping that in his press release, I would get some reasons as to why
they don't want
are opposing. Yeah,
Mhm.
like, the proposal, and based on the proposal, bus drivers will only be making, or I don't know. I was listening to hear those reasons. He did state some of the issues that they are facing currently, but I still didn't hear. And let me be clear, I'm not saying that they don't have reasons. I'm just saying in that press release, I didn't hear the reasons why they are so opposed to this unification.
Yeah.
Does the proposal, because I believe you said that not all areas are serviced, like can you get a public transportation anywhere?
There are definitely places that are underserved, and we know that it's not 24/7. If it's raining, it's a challenge. There seems to be no schedule. The buses show up when they want. It's chaotic.
Right. So my question then is, does the unification propose to address some of these issues? Having buses on schedule so that people know in the next 30 minutes, and it's so crazy because I just had this conversation with someone yesterday, so that that at 10 o'clock there's bus A is coming. And then there won't be another bus until 10:30 or whatever. And then to make sure the served areas are being served, and that does it propose to address some of those issues?
You're asking all the right questions, but this is what people who've been in cities where there is a unified transportation authority. Generally, that's how it works. So we are assuming that's what would happen. But we're hoping that would be the case. This is what we were all expecting.
Right.
But we don't know. We don't know.
Okay. I'm just curious because I really want to understand what the objection is, other than I feel like they're trying to tell us what to do and we don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah, let's take this call really quickly, and then we have to move on. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning to all.
Hi, good morning.
Our issue in the Bahamas is that we are what you call it, we are neoliberal. And we don't believe in state-owned entities, you see. A unified bus station, a bus system is still private and it's not monopolized. Something like that needs to be state-owned. Like if you had train, they needed to be state-owned. Like that's the issue we have right now with what you call PPA. PPA is a part is a part of a PPP. They need to expand the PPP and BPL. You know what I mean? And we have private owned power suppliers and with power electricity and Grand Bahama. How is that working? And Freeport, how is that working? These things doesn't work. Things like the tourism. Linden Pin, the best thing Linden Pinland did was in Defense Watch. It was buying those hotels, and what they did, they sold them. These things we should have owned. How does ties their power company.
Okay, we got to focus. We got to focus. We got to stick to the topic right now. Running out of time, but I hear you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning. You're on.
Good morning, guys. I think what happened is the unified bus system will cut into the monopoly of most of these drivers, because most of those drivers drive particular companies, right? And they have the monopoly on the bus system. And I think the minister is onto something. Dwight, could I just mention something right quick about the energy?
Really quickly, we really have to stick to this topic. We're running out of time.
The Sea Island said that there is no policy on the national. There's no policy on energy. There's a 2030 policy, right? That has been gazetted and publicized. The date is 30th of May 2025. Okay, I advise you guys to look for that at the Gazette and read it, so you could educate the Bahamian people that there is an energy policy. Okay.
Call on this. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. You're live.
Hello. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
I'll stay on topic. What you need to do, Dwight, is notice the 10A, the buses that go Cable Beach. They will wait until they're full and they leave. The next one pull up behind, wait until they at least have a certain amount, they leave. There's not much of a hassle there. You look at some of the other routes, it's a rat race. Look at the bus system. You see that some bus systems, they're organized. But there's a rat race when you come to the inner city. The behavior of the bus drivers on the Cable Beach route is far different from the ones in the inner city. I don't know if you know, the men are doing it right in some areas. But I don't know how come one person could have 40 bus plates, 5 buses on the road, and the others rented. The similar thing that you had with Ed Fields when he was on talking about the cab system is in the bus system. The politics are in it too much.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks a lot. Some text messages as we get ready to go to the break. This person says here, when they aren't messing with schoolgirls, oh boy, they're knocking down people. So yeah, they're failing big time. Wow. That's a lot. They don't need unification. They need competition. Do what other advanced economies have done. Start an MTA for the sake of the economy, and they can compete with the working unified bus system run by a non-for-profit trust free of government interference. I hear you. I actually support that. This person says here the bus sector is in dire need of structure and proper routing applications. The current situation is driven by bus owners' greed and drives relentless hustle. Okay. Yeah. What infuriates most Nasuvians is that over 15 years now, we have had talks of unification, talks of pilot programs, and talks of progress. We see baby steps in the form of some company formed to be a part, then pockets full. This entire topic is dropped. Oh boy. Issues like public transportation are why neither F&M or POP are different in terms of real progress, but more importantly, the same. Cloaking corruption, yikes. And this person says the bus drivers are wrong thinking the government wants a unified system. If done properly, it will cut into the carbon-based taxation regime, and the government would then have to grow the economy to get new taxes. The government is... Well, it's a bit of a... Okay, interesting. Again, we got to do a whole series of shows on this, but Linda Wilson's cracking herself up. Yeah? You'd rather be where you are than have to deal with this, right? I bet. We're going to get to her in just a bit. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
With you all my life. It feels so good not caring where you are.
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves.
Yes, real talk.
I'm not just saying this
Real talk.
to impress myself.
We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby, other paint companies, so I gonna this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams, Bahamas, and you'll surely find color in every day.
When it comes to hearts at Cleveland Clinic, you can't miss a beat. You seek the best care possible, work with the brightest minds, and leave no stone unturned to get to the heart of the matter. Because understanding is always the first step to overcoming. For every heart in the world, see how we're advancing the future of heart care at Cleveland Clinic today.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Don't wait for a storm to arrive. Stock up on hurricane supplies, make home repairs, purchase a generator, and more this hurricane season with a Fidelity personal loan. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Oh, yeah. All right. My beautiful islands. I tell you, if the good Lord never goes on holiday, tell me why he made the Bahamas. If the good Lord never used to come this way, tell me why he made these islands. All the sun, all the peace, all the skies, all the breeze, all the creeks, all the hills, all the sand, all the trees. Oh, tell me why. Tell me why.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. Changing gears now, as we promised. BUT President, Bombs Union Teachers President Belinda Wilson's with us, as usual, during the first week of the school year. It's a tradition now. But she's here often during the year and in any event. But good to see you again in studio. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Laverne.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, we've got a lot to talk about. We saw the headlines this week about you all prepared to march if there are pay cuts. This is about the Oracle system. We had the director on a couple of days ago. She talked about it and how it's making a big difference. But you see things differently?
Well, first of all, good morning, all my members from Grand Bahama to Inagua, and good morning. We do not oppose. We support the government digitizing the human resources and the accounts. But as I clearly and strongly articulated to the Prime Minister yesterday in our meeting, it's the manner in which it is done. It's the lack of communication. It's the lack of respect for the union. And whenever you try to implement an initiative and you circumvent the union, you will get pushback. And people will say, oh, the union isn't running the Ministry of Education or the government. No, we're not. But Article 7.9 of our agreement states that if there is a new, there's a new initiative, if there's correspondence, circulars, whatever terms, conditions of service that is being amended, the union must be consulted.
So you weren't consulted on this at all?
We were consulted December the 19th, 2023. So we had a meeting December the 19th, 2023 with other union leaders, and Kingsley Ferguson was a part of that because, he's the BPSU.
Right.
And emanating out of that meeting, we then drafted a letter to them with about 26 questions, and we also had observations and recommendations. And I can say to you, just recently, like around April or May of this year, I got responses. And as I said to the PM yesterday, the responses were vague. And based on the responses given, then we had more questions. So I'm pleased to say that as a result of that meeting yesterday, so the verification is on hold for at least 2 weeks. You remember we also had a pushback on the bi-weekly salaries, which they could not explain to us, have not answered yet how they propose to implement it. And so that is also on hold as a result of the meeting with the Prime Minister yesterday. And then you would have heard
That's across the board or just for
That's
teachers?
it.
For everybody?
Across the board,
Oh, wow.
yes.
Okay.
The whole public service. And then salary increases. The Prime Minister said it in Parliament. Pierre Glover Roll said it in Parliament that increase for September. So up to yesterday, we don't know who's receiving what, how much they're receiving, when they're going to receive it. So I should have that information in hand next week to also be shared with Kingsley Ferguson, again, the president of the Bahamas Public Service Union, because the changes that they are proposing to make impacts our union members. And so they always get it wrong. Oh, the union against. No, we're not against improving the system. What we are against is when you've already spent millions of our taxpayers' dollars and you've hired consultants or a foreign company, but in this instance, there are Bahamians who are a part of this company. And then when you go in the parliament or you go in the public domain and you announce something and we are sitting at the same time that the public is hearing it, then our phones start blowing up because the members, the Prime Minister say, and the Minister of Labor say. I said, we don't know.
Yeah.
Because no one spoke to us.
All right. So from what you heard yesterday, you're more comfortable and less likely to
march.
To march?
Yeah. Because what we were pushing back for was if our persons are going to be verified, and the verification, the uploading your information onto the government's portal, our concern was data protection. The security of your private information. And I'm not going to go too far this morning, but I can say this, and the Prime Minister is aware that there has already been a major breach.
Yeah, well, we heard you on a news clip early in the week talking about people seeing everyone's private information.
Major breach.
I mean, how widespread was that?
A major breach.
Okay.
So I'm awaiting now a call from the Data Protection Commissioner. So I'm supposed to meet with him, along with Kingsley Ferguson and some persons from a certain government entity. So if you cannot protect those persons' information, how is it that you're going to protect our information? Thousands of persons. And the government, they really don't listen. Because when they met with us December 1920, almost 2 years ago, we said to them, and I remember saying in the meeting, there are 23,000 civil servants. Do not do it wholesale. I said, if you want to, used the teachers and the Ministry of Education. I said, start with us. Let us be the pilot program. Start with us as a pilot. Oh, no, we going forward. And they had many start dates for full implementation that none have been met yet because you've not done it in the proper manner.
All right, so as you said, you're not opposed to this. Let people. The director, Dominique McCartney-Russell, talked a little bit about it when we spoke with her on Tuesday, but remind folks about why this is beneficial and how this is supposed to improve the system.
The government has what's called a J.D. Edwards system that I believe that they may have had from the 1970s or 80s. So the system, as it is today, is not adequate for human resources and accounts. So when
tracking how long you've been working and what you...
How long you've been working. If you have letters of commendation or discipline, your vacation leave, your sick leave, your compassionate leave.
Right. And it's mainly paper, right?
But the J.D. Edwards it's a computerized system.
Okay.
And it tracks your years of service, what your salary is, your increments, etc. We support that. There needs to be a new system. So the Oracle ERP Cloud, that is what they want to replace the J.D. Edwards with. And let me say this, when we met with them December 19, 2023, and about a week or so later, because that's Christmas time, the New Year, maybe around January 6th, I had a general membership meeting. I encouraged my members to go on to the My Profile portal and put in their information as the consultants would have asked. And I can say to you, the first day, maybe the first 4 to 6 persons, they start messaging me, Madam President, I'm on the portal, but I'm seeing someone else's information.
Wow.
So I told everybody, don't go on anymore. And I wrote to the Oracle consultants, etc., and everybody in finance, education, who I needed to address. And I said, listen, we're concerned about information that's being seen on screens, what I shouldn't be seeing your personal information, etc. And up to today, they have not proven to us or shown us that, hey, it is protected. We're asking, where are the servers going to be kept for this our data? For thousands and thousands and thousands of Bahamians. We asked which level of access persons are going to have in the various ministries. Who is overseeing that grouping of people? How many times you go on social media and you see all sorts of government documents with stamps on it and flashing all over social media?
Right.
Somebody had to release it.
Wow.
So we're concerned with you getting our personal information. Where is the data protection? Also, the verification persons who were moving around in the schools, I believe they came from under finance, but from the Treasury, they even had teachers who I told, do not go and verify. Well, always there's some that will. So they even have the electronic signature. So you gave your electronic, who's securing it? So when we look next week, the teacher is being hauled before the court for fraud because your signature appeared on a document that you may not even know about. So whenever you see me sound the alarm, it's not just to say, oh, Belinda is against what the government is doing. It's because I have a lot of information that I'm unable to say publicly because the information is confidential and very serious, has serious implications. Right. But if you hear me say, especially my members, do not do such and such, wait for an update. And I said to them, wait for an update. I'm going to meet with the Prime Minister. Do not verify, do not sign on, just hold on.
Wow.
So what happened is some of the persons who went to do the verification, they told them, if you don't verify, you don't get no salary. And so that put like holy hell up in me.
Wow.
That, hold on, who you threatening? Who you threatening? Because if I'm not certain about something, I do have a right to express that and to also say, oh, hold on, I need further information. I need to be certain as to what it is that I'm doing. So we're not in progress. We are fighting against the manner in which it was done, the lack of communication, the lack of sufficient consultation, and our concerns are legitimate.
Okay. All right. We're going to go to the news in a second. So before we go, though, so when are you having a next meeting? When do you expect an update on some of the questions
We're supposed to have a next meeting as early as next week, Tuesday. So we're looking at next week, Tuesday. And I've asked the Prime Minister to bring all the players in the room, because you talk to Ministry of Education, oh, it's public service. You talk to public service, oh, that's finance. Yeah. Well, I tell them, bring them all in.
Wow.
Okay. Let us look in their eyes and let each of them answer the questions pertaining to them various ministries.
Yeah. Okay. We're talking with Belinda Wilson, the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers. We're going to pick this up in business in just a bit. Stay with us after the news break here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Oh, yeah. All right. My beautiful items.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Nothing beats a Chickchani Challenge. On September 27th, we're bringing the action, a 5K course packed with 20 thrilling obstacles. Start and finish at Fusion Superplex with energy, fun and excitement all around. First time? No problem. Try the Chickchani Light version, built just for beginners. Got kids? Ages 3 to 7 can take on their very own Chickchani Kids Challenge. And this year, we're turning 10. So grab your team, mark your calendar, and come celebrate with us. Visit chickchanichallenge.com to sign up today. Thanks to our sponsors Fusion Superplex, Guardian Radio 96.9, Kalina, RBC, Advantage Insurance, Party Pilots Rentals and Events, Fincastle Media Group, Powerade, Art of Graphics.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, September 4th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner, and we continue our discussion with BUT President Belinda Wilson. And let's get into the school year so far. Classes for most students in the public sector resuming this week, but it's been an interesting start to the school year with BEMU, the Educators Managerial Union, with industrial action last week. What impact did that have on teachers? And then we want to get to the shortages as well. But what did that do?
Where do I begin?
Oh, boy. Where do you start?
Okay, you could not start because remember now, the principal is the head of the school. That's your leader. Mm-hmm. So the first week, that's orientation for teachers. Mm-hmm. So they would have different maybe guest speakers, etc. That's when the teachers would get their list of students who would be in their classes.
Right.
They would get their timetables. Some may not have gotten their grade levels assigned to them, over the summer or before school closed for the summer. So that would happen. That also gives the teachers an opportunity to decorate their classrooms, etc. So that week was a wash.
None of those things could happen.
That week was a wash.
Wow.
It was a wash. But you have some of those really astute teachers say, "But I can fix up my class," and some of them could not fix up their classrooms because of the shortage of janitresses.
Oh,
Right.
I heard about that.
Then I can say to you, and that's why I was asked, the minister said that schools are ready, and my response was, I don't go by what the minister says. I do my own inspections, plus we have shop stewards or union representatives in all of the schools. I give them a checklist at the beginning of the school year, and we go through. So there were so many workers up to Sunday in the schools, painting, cleaning up. The janitresses were there mopping. They actually hired some janitors on Sunday. So I always look at each year, it's the same issues. Who
But
does
were they temporary or
in the system, and they're needed? So my understanding is that they have gotten approval to hire 50. So, and that's throughout, because you have schools, Family Island schools, where janitresses were not there either. So the challenge last week was they could not get school started without the requisites. Some of the teachers could not even get into their classrooms because the classrooms were locked and the keys probably in the principal's office, and the principal was not there, so they could not access their classes. So as I said to them, sign in, sit in, and sign out at 12 noon.
With the hiring of the 50 janitresses throughout, does that then cover the shortage?
It assists with the shortage. So, for example, S.C. McPherson Junior High School, if you saw the news a few days ago, I was there along with Kimsley Ferguson with the janitorial staff there. And that is the largest school in the Bahamas with students and even space. The school is really big.
S.C.?
S.C. McPherson.
Really?
Yeah. And they were speaking.
Well, not bigger than Anatole, though. Or
probably just us.
Really?
Yes.
The one junior school?
The one junior school. The school is very big. And they have the largest population.
That's wild.
Okay. Very big. And so the janitresses explained to their president and to me how they would have had, let's say, 3 janitresses that retired. You might have had another 1 or 2 that passed away. So they did not replenish the complement of janitresses, but they added the work for others. And then there's never a conversation. You have a meeting, you say, hey, we know that there's a shortage. If I like for you for this week or next week to clean 3 or 4 extra classes, etc., but we are working on getting the janitresses for you. No, just I give you new classrooms added. They need a conversation. Right. They're human beings. They are a very important part of the school operation.
Absolutely.
And so last week really was a waste of time. This week when children came back, there were some of the schools that were able to get the children into the classes. Eva Hilton, for example, they were able to do the little entrance tests, diagnostic tests, because they want to see what level the children are in their reading and mathematics and writing, etc. But what I also want to note is there's the government not only waits for the last minute, but there were so many of those contractors who were not paid. And I said to the Prime Minister yesterday, sir, you need to pay the contractors in a timely manner so that the work can be done in a timely manner. But I could tell you Sunday, School is opening Monday. Sunday, I was in several schools, and everywhere, who ain't painting, the dumpster full of garbage, the janitresses, they mopping, somebody screwing in a light bulb, the electrician up in the ceiling. I mean, come on.
Yeah. We heard a caller talk about the garbage. How bad was it, and what was that from?
Well, you have a lot of debris. In the school and around, even the yard area. And then a lot of times too, but some of the leak. So if the roofs leak and it rain, then a lot of the teachers' charts and etc. got back. So you had to throw them out. And then a lot of them are changing their cabinets and putting them on Formica and wood and etc. So all of the debris was just piled up, and it's like, okay, it is Sunday. They're coming tomorrow morning, Monday. You know what I know that's a part of the problem? And I've made the recommendation over and over and over, but I say, okay, it's on deaf ear. If you are going to do work, but first of all, the recommendation that I would have given over and over is that I believe that the Ministry of Education, with all its physical plans, should really have work teams. So, for example, you have New Providence. So you have the Northwest, Northeast, Southwest, Southeast districts, and you have, let's say, 15 schools in each of those, because we have like around 58 schools in New Providence alone. Right. So if each of them have their maintenance teams, so you got the plumber, you got the electrician, okay, so the carpenter, etc. So if you are working with the team in Northeast and there are several schools there, would say, man, we have 2 louvers out here, 2 louvers out over there. So you may only have 10 louvers out in 4 different schools. But if you go and put the louvers in all year round, then you wouldn't have to come in June and the window that had 2 louvers out now have no louvers at all. So, oh, we need a new window now because you did not put in the 2 louvers. So we're saying there's a water issue because we had some schools that opened, they didn't have water. So if there's a water issue, then you have that plumber that is assigned to that school all year round. So he may have known, let's say from May, that there was a water issue while school was going on.
Right.
But the work might have been major, and you say, oh, but we can't drill here, we can't dig here, we can't cut the water off. So that would be one of the first things that he would tackle when school closes on June the 20th, and no one is there. June 21st, he's in there with the team getting that done. So definitely, I think the maintenance teams should be the first thought.
Yeah.
And Alfred says did attempt it around 2006, 2007, and there was a maintenance team. They pulled some of the persons from Ministry of Works, and they had them in education and stated the workers, and they also had a group of them right through across from Eva Hilton. They disbanded that unit. And I believe that the disbanding of the unit and not having the decentralized maintenance group is for the government, and I think all of them guilty of it, but this one I think worse, is for them to give political patronage or political contracts to their supporters and their generals. Wow. So I think, the chaos surrounding the opening of school and the preparation and repairs, I think that the key thing is you are not fixing it because you want it to remain the way it is so that you can give patronage to your supporters.
Wow, that's a serious claim.
I stand by that.
Yeah? Okay.
I approve this message.
Well, the director said there are 60 teacher shortage, and they were calling for retired teachers to come to help to fill in the gaps. That's the administrative shortage and the impact that has on what teachers do.
Okay, again, teacher shortage. But we have about 2025 new teachers at home right now as I speak to you today, waiting for appointment letters, posting letters, and or geographical posting allowances to travel to the family island. So they saying they have shortages. You have University of the Bahamas, for the most part, graduates who graduated from May, who spent 3 days, August 20th, 21st, and 22nd, in Stephen Dillard at a new teacher's orientation, where y'all had all your flowery speeches on empty promises, and they're still at home waiting for letters. So if you have a teacher shortage and you have new graduates who are excited, and I can tell you I have a chat group with them, they're really despondent. They really go to work. And they call in Ministry of Education, can't get anyone to answer the phone. They go up there, we waiting for the public service. Everything is the public service. We're waiting for the recommendations, and we're waiting for the documentation from the Ministry of Education, because the public service cannot do any appointment letters without having the relevant information from the Ministry of Education. Then they're telling them, we're waiting for vetting. So education has a systematic, perennial leadership execution problem. Every year it's the same thing. Again, let me tell you recommendations that I would have given. Those persons that I spoke about that are at home, because this was the smallest UB education group in a very long time.
Oh boy, what's that
I don't
about?
know. It was only maybe about 70 or 80 of them, somewhere around there.
Yikes.
Because they usually have 150, 180. So this was the smallest group. However, my recommendation, and I put it in writing over and over, to education is this. Most of those UB graduates are recipients of scholarship. So if you're in UB for the last 4 years, so they're coming out May of 2025. My recommendation to the ministry is December of 2024, the previous year before they come out. You get a listing from UB. When you get the listing from UB, then someone physically works that. So I'm calling you, Dwight Strachan, Belinda Wilson here from Human Resources at the Ministry of Education. We have your name. We understand that you're an English major. We want to know if you have an interest, if you intend to come to work for education in August of whatever the year is. We would like for you to bring your birth certificate, your marriage license, your mommy and daddy death certificate, your transcripts up to the time. And that means then that education then, January of that year, can start to send that information to the police for the police to begin their vetting process. The only thing they would be waiting for would be the last and the actual degree, which you will get in May, which you should get in May. They're walking in May. They're ending in May. So June, July, you've already worked their files. You should have in your hand the vetting results, because you would have given the information to the vetting unit for the police from January, which gave them about 4 months to do the vetting.
So what are you suggesting? That is just now happening?
That is not happening.
It's not.
It has never happened.
Have they not done the vetting part yet? Or
that's what I'm saying to you. Some of the people who are home are waiting.
Just waiting for that
because they've not been vetted. Some who are home, they said, okay, you've been vetted, but we're waiting for your letter from the public service. When I go to the public service and I say, where the teachers' letters who are home waiting to be hired, they then say, we are waiting for the recommendations and the files from the Ministry of Education. But I'm saying to you, as we speak, director was on with you a few days ago. You heard the director say, I have to go because we're interviewing. You interviewing in August, a week after school already open? Interviews should have been done from before school closed in the summer. But what happened is they sent out the vacancy notices late. So now you are interviewing for principals, vice principals, senior masters, senior mistresses, and school already open being the second week.
Okay, so let's talk about the vacancy notices. The complaint has been that they find out late. People tell them late, you drop out in the middle of the summer. And
I heard her and I wanted to call. I don't have her time because I got have my time. It's foolishness.
Oh, wow.
It is lack of preparation, and it seems as though they are the Ministry of Education, but they're not using their education. Because if every year you have the same problem, when are you having your post-mortem meeting for you to say, okay, this went well, but this area here, okay, we realized that we interviewed in August and school is open. So we know we got to push the interview earlier. So that's foolishness that the director said. And let me tell you why it's foolishness. Because, first of all, we have a mandatory retirement age of 65. The Ministry of Education, the Department of Education, has all of your information. So what I know that the pensions unit do, and they've been doing for several years now, your 64th birthday, the year before you retire, they send you a letter. And that letter is telling you that our records show that your birthday, so let's say today, September 4th, your birthday, September 4th, next year, 2026, you're going to be 65. Around this time or even before, you get a letter from the pensions unit letting you know that next year, September the 4th, 2026, is your mandatory age of retirement. You're 65. So you're going to tell me the director sitting up in a big chair in the Ministry of Education, and she don't have a listing in front of her from the pensions unit the year prior to say that you have 10 persons who are retiring, you have 15 persons who are retiring.
But there are people who decide to drop out, right? To leave and go and pursue other
Yeah, but
jobs.
I can get to that. I can get to that. What I am saying is the mandatory age of retirement is 65. That ain't dropped from the sky. So you should the year before be saying to your people, if they didn't put it on your desk, can you send me the list of all of the teachers, guidance counselors, librarians, teachers' aides who are retiring next year? I a year ahead of you. Next year. So when you look and you see, okay, R.M. Bailey, D.W. Davis, you know then that the R.M. Bailey principal, the D.W. Davis principal, for example, they're retiring next year. That ain't no surprise. Okay, then you have some persons who would retire, who would resign or retire early. So let's deal with the resignations. So if you have a resignation and
They
you
often don't resign till August.
till August, because for me, I always would advise my members, you must give the 30 days notice.
Okay.
So if you get a letter, July, and it says August the 25th is my last day. If you were planning properly from before and you looked at the data that you had before, because the data tells you, I can tell you right now, over the last 20 years, the retirees, who members of the BUT, because we give them a little retirement benefit over the last 10, 12 years. So those retirees, I can tell you, the list, the majority that we've had in 1 year would have been about 57, and the least are like around about 22. So if I'm planning, we plan to pay them. In planning to pay them their one-time retirement benefit from the Bahamas Union of Teachers, I say to the treasurer, hey, we have to look at such and such. We have to calculate A, B, C. So what I'm saying is planning is their problem, and then executing. So you cannot be interviewing August the 30th and school open a week before, but you're interviewing for principals. Come on. You said someone resigned someone retired, you should know that. That information should be before you. You should have your matrix. You should have your master timetabling as if Dwight leaves today, then his backup is, or his alternative is, Laverne. So, oops, oh, he gone. Okay, yeah, he gone. So, does the organization then close down? So they need to plan probably. So when I heard it talk about, we have people who retire, they didn't just jump up and retire, they're 65. You may have them, but they write in. So if you're on top of your game and you know what you're doing, then it would not be a shock to you. Furthermore, it's even as if you're preparing for anything, a party, and you say, I'm inviting 65 people. You don't bring 65 plates. You tell the person 65 persons, but do 10 plates extra. Because someone may drop in. One of the plates may drop when you're serving the people in break and all the food gone. So in planning, you plan for the mandatory retirements, the early retirements, and the late resignations. You also have to plan for the deceased. We just buried a teacher on Thursday. Science teacher. We just buried her on Thursday. So you even have to plan for the deceased. No. So listen, you all have the statistics and the data in education. You said, don't come on this radio talking about, somebody retired. So where were you? You're the director of education, and I'm so sick and tired of people in the Bahamas sitting in positions, sitting in chairs, and then they start talking, this is overwhelming. It's overwhelming, then it ain't a job for you. Go find a job what you capable of doing.
Issue with retirees coming back into the system?
No issue with the retirees coming back into the system, and I've been advising some of them. And so my advice to them is that since they are needed, the supply teacher, you get $15 per day. I said, well, come in full time, because you end up holding a full class anyway as a supply teacher. So come in full time, get your full salary, and get your full pension. Like how the parliamentarians getting it.
Wow. All right, we've got a lot of calls coming in. We have a whole lot more to talk to you about. Let's take some calls, and then we'll get to the rest of our questions.
Bring it on.
Caller, are you there? Good morning.
Dwight, your guest, how you doing?
Good. We're doing well.
Right, okay, Mr. This is a question for your guest, right? I put this question to you, right, because you are the voice of the voiceless, and secondly, you are one of the biggest person in the union. Question, right? Wow. Why are people promoted after they die? That don't make no sense. People in the government ministries, right? Teachers and other people, right? They wait so long for their promotions, right? They die and then they get their promotion. Make it make sense.
Okay.
Second question. Second thing I want to ask, right? Schools openings, right? Why don't you put forth to the government, right? Not just the PRB, the FNM too, or any government and party, right? That they give contractors the green light and partial payments to start work on the jobs in June. Because they actually get, some of them get the payment after school is closed. That's why they're not able to complete the jobs. So they actually start work probably sometimes in early August, which makes it impossible for the contractors to complete the jobs for school to be opening, which is counterproductive. Make it make sense.
Okay.
Why they're not giving a green light in June? There's also the beginning of June to start preparation.
I got the question. Let me get the answer. I got the questions. Let me get the answer. Okay. Persons promoted after they die.
That happens?
Yes. And let me explain. Okay. Let's say, for example, you were placed in a position in an acting post. And when you act, you're supposed to act for 12 months. And after the 12 months, you are to be confirmed.
You got some people active for 12 years around here.
Okay, and you write on it. So if I were acting did not get the promotion or the confirmed in that substantive post, and I die, when, let's say the public service, because this did happen to a teacher. So let's say the public service confirmed me in April of this year. And I died September of this year. but the Ministry of Education never gave me the letter prior to me passing. I'm still entitled to that promotion and the funds that come with it. So what happens is the family then ends up getting a higher, the benefit will be higher. So let's say my salary was $20,000 and I got promoted posthumously, I passed, but actually it meant that the transaction or the processes were done prior to my passing. So then my salary went up to $25,000, but no one gave me the letter. My salary was not adjusted. I was not informed. But when they go and they pull my file after I'm deceased, what they call it in pensions is they audit your file. So as they auditing my file, then they say, oh, we had a letter here for Belinda from April on her file. She promoted and her salary increased $5,000. So they now have to calculate my pensionable years on that salary. Again, lack of organization.
Right.
And I believe you've been...
it isn't necessarily that the person is getting the promotion after they've passed away. It was that they got the promotion, but all of the letters or whatever that they were supposed to get, they had not received as yet.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, and then once the file is audited and you're made aware, then you make those adjustments.
They make the adjustments, and then their beneficiary will be able to get
receive. Okay.
Yeah.
With repairs, I mean, I believe that you've been recommending that.
Yeah, let me tell you what
Everyone's been recommending.
Forever's right, because the recommendation was and still is that the funds for the repairs for the ensuing year should be done in the previous year. So, for example, the fiscal year for the government is July 1st to June 30th each year. So if they would put the funding, if they had put the funding in last year's fiscal, and you say around May, we able to give the funds to the contractors. Contractors can go on, etc. Once school closes June the 20th, like I said, June 21st, you on the ground with your persons. But I could say to you up to Sunday, before school opened, I walked the schools. And the contractors, some of them have not received one penny.
My goodness. Let's take one more call.
What would be the pushback with that suggestion? Because you said you've already put that forth before. I'm sure you have. So what is the reason why or the hesitation not to implement that suggestion?
I think it goes back again to priority.
And planning.
Planning and priority. Because you could find money to go fly up and down all over the world. So why you can't find money to fix the school?
And will that money still be there come May? That's just Dwight talking.
But if it's not used by June the 30th, it does not go. The money does not go over.
I'm sure it'll be used. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight and Laverne, and good morning to Miss Wilson.
Morning.
I love when you talk, Miss Wilson. I love the way you do what you do. What I wanted to ask. Is it possible for the ministry to vet persons for a pool and just let their names sit there in the event that they're needed, that they would have already been vetted and then later called upon? Is that possible to happen?
It is possible, but I want to take it even wider. The recruitment, in my view, should happen all year round. So let's say you put in an application in January, but I'm not going to hire you until August. So if I get your application, first of all, they have to acknowledge to people that I received it, because a lot of times they don't even acknowledge received. But if I acknowledge that I receive it, then, and I see you as a prospective teacher, then we can start the process from January.
Yes, because that's what I was thinking, because it sounds like if they would plan ahead and vet these persons ahead of time, and let's just say a principal come up needed for an island or someplace, they would have already vetted a principal-like type person that they can always call back upon and say, okay, we need you for this spot, and then have somebody to replace with that person that they are moving. Because, I mean, it makes no sense for a school to be open, and every year we have a problem with the teachers.
But remember again, let me tell you this. Remember again, now the principals are not just coming from anywhere, you know. The principals, if you're a principal, then you've been a senior master or mistress, you've been a vice principal. Right, so I'm saying these are people who are in the schools.
So vet them one time for that principal position, so it would have already been done. You understand? Because it sounds like they're waiting literally for the last minute, because what I wanted to add too is even with the repairs, what's the purpose of administrative work? What are their purpose?
When you find out, you tell me.
Okay.
Because I figured they would have been there when it comes to the government buildings to say, okay, this is needed for H.O. Nash, this is needed for C.C. Sweden. And then even if they're going to contract these work out to outsiders, the outsiders they already had a list of what the repairs need to be done. They shouldn't have to wait until August just to find out that, oh, there's a crack in the wall in a few places.
What you're saying is logical, and I think I already said it.
Thank you, caller.
This is an opportunity for them to give contracts to their supporters. That's what it is.
Got a text reminding me about the Cuban teacher situation. We asked the director about it, but from what you know, where do things stand?
What did she say? You could remember?
That there were some teachers decided to take on contracts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are a few who decided to take on contracts. I can say to you, from my knowledge, there's only one who has been hired. And I spoke to her myself. And I can say to you, up to last night, I had Cuban teachers messaging me who said that they went up to the Ministry of Education. And they're telling them that they are waiting information because of
Foreign Affairs?
The policy.
Yeah.
So they need to decide, are they hiring them or are they not? Because that is not clear. And I can say to you, I have several of them who are waiting to be hired.
And these teachers are willing to have contracts directly with the Ministry of Education?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because their contracts through their government has expired. Let me also say this too, which I think people are not clear on. And I saw Dr. Darville saying it, and I just like screaming, watching my television. When he said, we're going to pay them directly. The teachers are paid directly. So I don't know what they're talking about. When payday come, the Cuban teachers' monies go to their salaries, to their bank accounts, their personal bank accounts. However, they have a policy where 40% of their salaries they pay to their government.
So they're responsible with sending it on.
Right. So I don't know. I wonder, like, what they talk. Oh, we can now start paying them directly. They have always been paid.
Do you think it was different with the medical professionals?
I don't think so. I just think he misspoke. They don't know what's going on.
So this is a lot of discussion about nothing.
Yes.
And anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
But my thing is, they saying they talking to the U.S. government for the Cuban people. Anyway, we can move along.
We were all confused about that ourselves.
Yes. Let me say this, though. There were 130 Cubans total here last school year.
Wow.
Some of their contracts ended, so they did not return. There were about 8, maybe about 15 that are interested in doing the contracts with themselves
and still in
and
the
the government. And there are about there are about maybe 5 in country.
Wow.
And about
Just waiting.
3 of the others are at home because I
So
communicate
they're just
with
basically in limbo.
They are, but I'm saying to you, up to today's Thursday. Up to Tuesday. I know 2 of them contacted education and were told by the Human Resource Department, we can't do anything. We're waiting to hear from Foreign Affairs or.
My goodness.
I'm confused because if they were getting paid directly, why are we beyond making sure that we pay them what they agreed to be paid, what was negotiated? Why are we pressing any further with how they distribute their funds once they receive it?
Well, I believe the government our government want to protect their visas. That's what it is. Because I keep on, I say, okay, so what this all about? Because we do, and their salaries are the same salaries as the Bahamian teachers. So you come in, yes, you at entry level, there's no difference with the salaries. Those who are on the family islands, they get their rental allowance, which is the same as a Bahamian. So I was trying to figure out, like, what all this hullabaloo is about protecting the politicians' visas, because the threat from the U.S. is that we will cancel your visas. Right. So they running around in a flurry trying to make the Bahamian public believe that they're doing something special. I don't know what it is that they're doing.
All right, I want to get to curriculum. There's been a lot of talk about that and whether it is suitable for the future, producing students who are going to be able to make it in the future Bahamas and in the global environment. Your take on this? We just saw this week the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce talking about this, that we're cranking out students who the business community in the Bahamas can't hire. What do you make of that, and what do we need to do to fix this?
That's another topic that's always bandied about by education. And I know that there is some work being done on curriculum, and I've said to them, yes, we do have, let's say, a teacher or teachers represented on the curriculum committees. However, that one or two teachers that are working on the curriculum does not really give you a wide. So I say to them, when you have drafted the curriculum, then let's have curriculum workshops where you have a number of teachers from the various disciplines, and especially the discipline that you are revising that curriculum on, and get feedback from a wider population. So you have the curriculum committee, they do the curriculum, and when we look again, we get an invitation to say, oh, we're launching a new curriculum tomorrow, and then you on television and you in the newspaper for photo opportunities. But when you drill down, did you even liaise with the teachers in those various areas, not only New Providence, but Grand Bahama and the Family Islands? And let me talk about this. I really got to talk about this. Oh, we have Junkanoo in the curriculum. So I want to ask the Minister of Education, Minister Glennis Hanna Martin. I want to ask the Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Lorraine Brissett. I want to ask the Director, Mrs. Dominique Russell. Where is the written plan for Junkanoo in the curriculum? I've not seen it. Where are the books that you're teaching from? Because if you're teaching Junkanoo, then there must be theory and practical. So what are the books that we're using? Where are the Junkanoo experts that you have infused in education? I haven't seen them. Where's the crepe paper? Where's the glue? Where's the material? What is it that you've given to teachers to teach Junkanoo in the curriculum? And so for me, it's like if you say, we have 10 drummer boys. See a drum, they're beating 10 little boys beating the drum. Now, if that is what you're talking about, then to me, that's surface. That's rote. That's basic. If you say you have Junkanoo in the curriculum, then you need the experts. You need the books. Because it was John Canoe started Junkanoo, whatever, years ago. Okay, what else we know? What else do we know? So if you were teaching something, it's a part of the curriculum, you're introducing it now, and it's supposed to be sustainable and it's supposed to grow, then you have to build it. So I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. And to the employers who are saying that we're producing students who are unemployable, is that accurate? Are they just saying that so they can bring in people they want to bring in?
No.
What do you make of it?
It's accurate. And it had to be years ago, around probably 1990s. They had a document called the Untapped Resource That was Barry Farrington and some persons from the Chamber of Commerce, Vince Ferguson, etc. And they did a study on school leavers and their readiness for the workplace, and they also offered recommendations on what type of training and subjects they should be doing in school so they are ready. So again, we keep putting a lot of emphasis on BJC and BGCSE, and y'all may say, why is she saying that? And she said, you could give some of them BJC and BGCSE in certain subjects from now until the chicken come home. They will not pass those subjects, but you give them the basic math, the basic English, and their skill. Though some of them are very, very good in skills. And then we can't get into it today, but Ghana theory speaks about the auditory learner, the kinesthetic learner, the oral learner. So these are people who are musically inclined. Some people like to go, they won't go outside, so they nature. He talks about nature, so that's your biologist and your farmer and your agriculturalist. So we just take everybody, put them in a box, put them in a room and say, oh, child, school in. And these parents, you just drop them to school, but some wonder to school. But you just let them go to school and you're not aware of what it is that they are doing throughout the year. So you need to get involved, find out what's going on, touch base with the teacher, look at what they're bringing home. So if you see that this boy drawing and doodling, but it's look good, that may be your artist. Right. That might be your next So what I'm saying is look to see what their gifts and talents and skills are and harness that. But education, the Ministry of Education has to, and we keep saying it, they have to expand on the technical and vocational subjects. Hence, it means that you can't just say, oh, five days they're going to be in school. No, they may have to go over to Bamsey and be there for a week. They may have to go to one of the automotive stores or the mechanic stores or where they may have to go to the air conditioning technician. So the curriculum, when you talk about revision or we revising it or we changing the curriculum, it cannot be that what your change is that they still in school Monday to Friday from 9 to 3. You have to go outside of that box and expand what it is that you're offering. The next thing is the City and Guilds. The City and Guilds, and I must say that former principal of C.C. Sweeting, Dolores Ingram, the City and Guilds was strong at C.C. Sweeting Senior when she was the principal. So we had students coming out with that certification in electrical and the car, etc. So that's the route we need to go. And when you look at what it is that the employers and the chamber is saying, they're telling you what they need. Right. So let's prepare them for what it is that they need. And I think a real relationship, should be built with the Chamber of Commerce, with the various different business owners. Because like I said, you do the 3 days in school because you need your English, your math, some physical education, and you sure need Jesus. Some religious knowledge, some history, and then your next 2 days, you on the job training, you learning that skill. That some children, they look at something and when you walk into the room and you come back, they have it put together like, how did you do that? Right. So it's a gift and a talent.
And that needs to start early from primary school even.
Yeah, but I'm saying junior high, senior high, let's get them into industry, into the workplace.
Running out of time, but I want there's a couple text messages here I need you to respond to. This person says, can you have Mrs. Wilson explain who allows children into high school that cannot speak a word of English, and how do you get to grade 10 and need a translator? How could this child have gotten this far and not speak English? Is that the case? Is that happening?
It is happening, but what it is what we have to know is that there are international rules, standards, policies, conventions. So there's a convention on the rights of the child, and that's ILO Convention 148. So the child has a right to matriculate or to be enrolled in school. However, you are enrolling with Creole or a language that we do not speak. So English is our first language. So again, education then needs that the child has to be in school because of the convention and the rights. So how do you then deal with it? And note that we do have some Creole speaking teachers. We have Haitian teachers who teach in our system. So they were born here, their parents speak Creole, they can speak Creole and switch from Creole to English at a drop of a hat. So again, is education looking at the skills and talents that we have among our teachers and saying, okay, instead of that teacher being a grade 6 homeroom teacher, then we need to pull her into intervention and let her use her Creole English skills for those students because they have a right to be here.
Wow.
Now, how they get here, how their parents get here and all that, then that's the defense force. That's immigration. That's a bigger discussion. But there's a right for them to be in school.
Wow. This person says here, 2 years ago, my niece and 3 other female students graduated UB. They were part of a teacher grant program. Upon graduation, they received letters from the Ministry of Education saying there was no availability for them as the ministry was looking for specialist teachers. And now they are working for...
That's what I said. So these are the same. I said that earlier. So we have University of Bahamas graduates, our children who has received our grants, our scholarships, and that's the foolishness you writing to tell them they're not needed.
Wow. All right. We do this every year. Your message to your members and to the students and the parents first week of school.
Yeah, but I really want to say thank you so much to the members of the Bahamas Union of Teachers and for the work that they do. I mean, every day. And it's not easy. Every day. So I say thank you for the work that you're doing. I really want to say welcome back to school. I want to say welcome to those new teachers who've been posted and those of you who are on the BUT chat group. You all and I working daily to see if we can get those letters in your hands so that you can get into schools. And I want to thank the retirees who are coming back. I spoke to a few of them who are coming back, and I just want to let them know the children you left a few years ago. So take
Godspeed.
Patience at Godspeed. Yeah, but I really want to say thank you to the teachers from Grand Bahama, Tinagua, and welcome back to the new school year. And y'all know, the Bahamas Union Teachers, we got your back. This is Belinda Wilson, your president. Solidarity forever.
Belinda, appreciate you. Laverne Gardner, thank you as well.
It's a pleasure.
I'll talk with you again next week, and I'll be back tomorrow morning. Be sure to pick up today's Nassau Guardian for the Guardian business section, all the business news you need in there. This portion of the show brought to you in part by CFAL. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Again, we're back tomorrow morning. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
Who's the real MVP of the soil, the hero of the harvest? The Agrarian Awards 2025 is here, and we want you to nominate the farm. Categories up for grabs and a chance to win up to $50,000 in cash prizes. Brought to you by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources and the Agricultural Development Organization, honoring the hands that feed the nation. Visit adobahamas.org to submit your nomination for the Agrarian Awards 2025.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.